right, everybody, welcome back to PAPO FLUENTE podcast. Today's episode 21, guys. Can you believe it? Yes, I told you I would try to release a new episode every single week, and here we are again. And I'm not alone. I'm with a very special guest today, Marcelo. How are you doing, my man, Marcelo? All
What-
right.
What's up, guys? How's it going? Thanks for having me here. I really appreciate it. How's it going? I'm doing well. How are you?
Yeah, man, I'm doing great, and the pleasure is all mine. So I just want to ask you something, and please, no pressure at all. I'm just trying to break some news here, so I don't want to put you on the spot. But my question is, are you back? Is that official? Can I break the news here at Papo Fluente? Marcelo is back. Inglês do Marcelo is back.
Yeah, you can break the news that Inglês Marcelo is trying to come back, but
Yay! All
this
right.
time, at least I'm trying for real. The previous month, I have been, kind of thinking about what I really want to do on the internet and stuff like that, and then came to the realization that English is always going to be a part of my life. So might as well just, keep helping people. Why not?
Bro, and I have no words to express how happy I am with that, and like breaking the news here. So Marcelo is back. So I'm gonna ask you a favor, okay? And please do it, because I'm thinking about a clip that I can make, and you have a very particular way of introducing your videos. And I remember that, like, the first time I was watching your videos, I said, man, this guy, I wish I were friends with him. Like, he's a cool dude. He's nice. He's like always like have this high energy, like introducing the videos like that. So can you like make the introduction? Can you drop the line how you introduce your videos on Instagram?
Yeah, so it's been a while I don't do it, but usually I think I still remember. It's hey, what's up, guys? Marcelo here. It's great to have you guys back, or something like that. I don't remember exactly, but I think that's the way I used to introduce the videos.
That's exactly what I was talking about, man. And I
Yeah.
always like, man, that's so cool, because I don't know if you saw that, but I I just posted like a TBT of my very first video that I
I saw
posted on yeah,
it.
I posted on Instagram like way back, like back in 2017, and it was something like, hey, how's it going, guys? It was like, man, what I was doing, like people, and you were always like that, like, let's
Yeah.
go. What up, guys? It's Marcelo here. Yeah,
But I
that's
was
great, man.
heavily influenced by a guy named Peter McKinnon. I don't know
Okay.
if you've heard about him. You're in
No.
Canada, so he's Canadian.
Oh,
He
really?
has, yeah, he has this YouTube channel about photography and all things tech nowadays, but it's like photography and filmmaking. And he starts the video basically saying what I say, so I kind of copied, but
Okay.
he does it with much more enthusiasm. So I'm not even
Yeah.
close to his energy, but I was very influenced by him. And then seeing the videos that people are posting nowadays, you don't see those introductions anymore. You don't see anybody introducing themselves anymore. It's just like straight to the point. I don't
Yeah.
know why.
But to be honest, I really like that,
Yeah,
because it's a very like energy introduction, and you're introducing yourself, and people like are getting familiar with you. So I think it's great. So if you want to keep doing it, man, I would love to keep seeing those videos with those introductions, man. Keep doing.
thank you. Yeah, I will.
Yeah, but anyway, man. So I just asked you like two questions, but I didn't ask you to introduce yourself, man. So my bad. So now please introduce yourself. So who are you? Where are you from? What's the story? So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so I'm Marcelo. I was born in Campo Grande, Rio de Janeiro.
Yeah.
So I am from this small. In the back in the day, it was a small suburb, but now it's probably the biggest suburb in in Rio de Janeiro. It's Campo Grande,
Mhm.
and my family's still there. Like everybody's still there. My father, my grandparents, but and what happened was my father is in the military, so we always moved a lot. And
Mm-hmm.
then I lived in Rio. If you count all the years, probably like, I don't know, 10 years in Rio de Janeiro, going back and forth. I had this opportunity, to move a lot and meet new people all the time. So it's very easy for me, the idea of moving and just
Okay.
leaving everything behind and doing new stuff. Maybe that's why I haven't continued with the Instagram page, because for me it's very easy to just like, okay, let's try to do something
Okay.
else. But yeah, and I'm 32 years old. I'm married to Gabi. I have two kids, Noah and Thomas, and I currently live in Massachusetts, here in the United States,
Good.
and I study theology. I am studying to become a Presbyterian pastor, so that's
Wow.
my profession to be.
Nice.
Although I already do, pastor stuff at
Mm-hmm.
church, but I don't have the title yet,
Yeah.
because I gotta finish my degree, right?
Okay.
I also work at an English school here in the United States, and I think that's me, man. That's what I do.
Bro, that's great. And like so many things like happened since the last time we had our conversation, right? In the
True.
podcast. You remember when we recorded that episode, by the way?
I
We
I don't remember the year, the date, no, but I remember it was a while ago, 2019, 2020.
2020, yeah.
It was
Yeah.
in the middle of the pandemic.
Yes, exactly, man. Like almost 4 years ago, like back in September 2020. Yeah, it's been a
That's
while, huh?
crazy. That's 4 years ago. That's insane.
Wow, man. Can you
Yeah,
believe it? Oh my
I can.
goodness. Wow. All right, man. Great stuff. Great stuff. It's like amazing to learn more about you. Like we are gonna talk more about that things you shared like during the episode. But I have a game that I came up with like in one of the episodes and people kind of like it. So would you be up to do that? It's called BS versus success.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Yeah. So I'll just say something and you in your opinion you say if that's a BS or a success and
Mhm.
you can explain why. You can elaborate on that if you want, okay?
Okay. All right.
All
Cool.
right, I'm
Let's
going
do
to
it.
start with a very easy topic. I don't like controversial topics, right? So it's going to be a very easy one. So in your opinion, fluency in 3 months, is that a BS or a success?
Well, I will have to say that's BS. Okay. But then we have to define the terms here real quick, just so people understand why that's BS in my opinion.
All right.
Is, the idea of fluency. I am, I believe I am I'm not very conservative in terms of what fluency means. Some people,
Okay.
they'll say that fluency is only when you can say all the words in the English language, and then your accent needs to be matching native speakers' accent, and then you cannot make mistakes. If you make mistakes, then you're not fluent. You need to understand everything that people say, otherwise you're not fluent. I don't believe that
Mhm.
idea of fluency. I believe that fluency means that you can communicate in the language, you can make yourself understood, you can understand everything,
Mhm.
and then you can speak with, in a natural way, right? So
Yeah. That
uh, I
being
do-
said,
that being said, I believe that fluency in 3 months is not possible. Okay,
yeah.
uh, in a very, how do you say, like, um, it's, there are exceptions for every rule.
Oh,
Okay, I mean,
exactly.
there might
Exactly.
be people who can do that if they move to a country and then they immerse themselves in the language, and then they have already certain knowledge on how to acquire a language and stuff like that. Okay, I'm not talking about these people. I'm talking about
Mhm.
the people who are following you on
Yep.
Instagram. They're following PAPO FLUENTE. They're probably from Brazil or from different countries. They have a full-time
Mhm.
job. They have kids. They need to learn English to improve in their career. These people are not going to be able to get fluent in 3 months, because they just have too much going on, and they have little time to offer to English in general. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So, but those people are also the easy targets for the ones who are selling these programs. And that's
Exactly.
where the problem comes for me, which is
Yep.
I know that those people are actively deceiving others, telling them
Mm-hmm.
that you can get fluent in 3 months. And then it's almost like a prosperity gospel in
Mm-hmm.
like in the Christian religion, which I'm totally against, which is like, oh, if you give enough money, God is gonna make you prosper. You're gonna have a lot of money. That's
Mm-hmm.
not true. But then, if that doesn't happen to you, what does the pastor say? Oh, it's your fault. You don't have enough faith.
Oh
What?
yeah.
It's the same thing with these people. They say you can get fluent in 3 months. Just do what I'm telling you to. It's an impossible program. People will try, they'll fail, and then they'll say, it's your fault. It's not me. If you had done what I told you to, you would get fluent in 3 months. You know what I'm saying? This is where
Yeah,
I'm
bro.
where I'm coming from.
Bro, I love that. And to be honest, like it summarized like everything that I think. And that's why I believe we have like this kind of connection, like because we see people that kind of think like you do and you get connected and you just summarize everything pretty much that I think. So that was great, man. All
Yeah,
right. Next one. Is studying English like a little bit every day, like consistently. Is it success or BS in your opinion?
I'll say success for sure. I love the idea of being consistent. I think it's something that I struggle with personally,
Yeah.
although I have been getting better at it.
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure like that if you are consistent in whatever task, it's not only learning the English language. I'm sorry.
No
I
problem.
just I just ate.
It's
That's
all
why.
good.
So if you are consistent in doing any task, you are going to get better at it. You know,
Yeah.
it's almost like, I don't know, man. I I don't want to say impossible because there are exceptions, but I don't know how to play basketball that well. But if I try to shoot, like, I don't know how to shoot free throws that well, but I'm
Okay.
pretty sure if I shoot free throws every single day for a little bit of time, in the amount of time that I'll be able to do that, I'll get better with time.
Hmm.
Maybe I'll
Yeah.
not reach the level of a great basketball player, but I'll be better than I was yesterday. So that's what I believe in: consistency and 1% better every day. And then you're going to get, if you do that, you're going to get to your goals for sure.
I love that, man. I love that because people sometimes they feel overwhelmed just with this idea they need to study a lot. Like, and sometimes they don't have the time, as you mentioned. Like, sometimes they work full time, they have kids, right? So it's
Yeah.
better if you have like, let's say, 15 minutes, 20 minutes every single day, but you keep it consistent
Yeah.
and you'll see results, right? So just don't
Yeah.
give up. Good. All
True.
right, my next question, man. Easy one, okay?
Okay.
Simple. Here you go. Trust me. Listening to content in English, like this podcast, for example, huh?
Mhm.
Right. So listening to content in English can improve your communication overall. Is that a BS or success?
Yeah, that's success, in my opinion. I think that learning English using your mother language is important. I think it has a place for that, definitely. Especially if you haven't had much contact with the language
Mm-hmm.
and you perhaps don't have too much time. It's good to use it. However, and with that being said, again, I believe that trying to immerse yourself in the language as much as possible is going to accelerate the process.
Mm-hmm.
I think it accelerates the process because, man, I just think like, okay, I want to learn how to play a song in the drums. If I don't listen to that song, it's
Yeah,
gonna get complicated. Like, okay, I want to be a heavy metal drummer. If I don't listen to heavy metal, I won't get the vocabulary that heavy metal drummers use.
exactly.
But if I listen to heavy metal like a lot, when it's the next studio session that I'll have to compose something, those phrases will be on my mind, and then I'll be able to kind of do some things that heavy metal drummers do, and that will be like somehow how do you say, compatible to
Yeah.
that which I'm trying to learn. So I think that if you, using that analogy, right, bringing to English, I think if you want to learn English, you need to listen to English, man. There's no other
Exactly.
way around it, you know? So a
Yeah.
podcast like this, where you have two Brazilians that are not speaking that fast, that
Hmm.
we went through the same situation that you're going through. We had to learn the language as well, and how
Yeah.
important it was, right? To for
Hmm.
you, I imagine, to have content in English and just listening to it, even though you were not understanding 100%.
Hmm.
That stirs up your curiosity too, and then I think
Exactly.
it's a total success. Go for it.
All right. All right. There you go. Man, next one. So we are not mentioning anyone in particular, right? But I'm pretty sure you've seen some videos that start like this. Don't say it if you don't
Mhm,
want to if you want to sound like a native. So
mhm.
you think those videos like they're BS or success?
Man. No, look, in general, I think they're BS
Mhm.
in general. But I do understand the creator's point of view as well. Because, okay, in terms of um language, speaking, and linguistics, I think the don't do this videos are BS because usually it's something that you can do. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
that's the
saying?
thing, right?
Yeah.
Don't say I'm fine, thanks. Nobody says that, but like here in Canada, hey, how are you doing? I'm fine, thanks. So what do
Yeah,
I do now?
it's crazy.
Yeah,
So in that context, it's total BS, because the majority of these videos, they are just doing that to get the clicks.
exactly.
That's what I understand the part of the creator as well, because they are all. Can you imagine how many English teachers we have on Instagram?
Yeah,
So
so
many.
that's the thing, right? Don't hate the player, hate the game, right?
Hey,
So
the game. It's the algorithm. It's it's the
exactly.
way things work. That's why they
Yeah.
do these videos, because it calls people's attention. I work at an English school, and I basically run the social media account of that English school, right? Both
Nice.
Facebook, TikTok, everything.
There you go.
And the owner of the school always asked me, "Man, just do a don't video. Just do a don't video." And I don't like to do. I've done it sometimes. Not me. I don't put my face there, but I ask other
Okay.
teachers to do it, and
All
they
right.
do it. They don't care because. But I always try, when I'm doing a don't video, I'm actually telling them to don't do something for
Yeah.
real, that you cannot do.
Yeah.
Although it's very hard to find something that you can't do in English. What the
It
heck?
is.
English is so it's a living creature. You
Yeah.
can do whatever you want nowadays. The people will
Exactly.
understand.
Yeah. Yeah.
especially in especially here in the United States, and I believe in Canada too. So
Yeah.
many
Yeah.
immigrants, right?
Yeah.
So people understand what you're saying, even though you don't know, you're not saying those things correctly.
Yeah.
So it's BS, but I do understand the creator. And
But yeah.
if the creator is going like, don't say something that you cannot say, then it's okay. You're getting the likes and you're telling the truth.
Yeah. In, in
That's,
in terms of marketing, like it's a good strategy. Like
yeah.
we're not gonna disagree with that, right? But
No,
yeah.
because if I'm trying to learn French, and I have I have a trip to Quebec,
Yep.
right where you next to where you live. Not, I don't
Yeah.
know if it's close to where you live, but
Yeah. 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 A little
it's
bit.
in
Yeah.
Canada. And then I have this trip for next week. If I'm trying to, watch all the videos I can so I can learn the maximum amount of French in one
Mhm.
week, if I see a don't video, I will click on it.
Exactly. For
Because
sure.
I don't want to, I don't want to go to a restaurant and say a
Yeah.
bad word in
Yeah.
French, for example. So, man, it's complicated, man.
You don't want to get in trouble, right? So yeah.
Yeah, it's what you say. You gotta hate the game in this case,
Yeah.
Uh, but it's complicated.
But good, good, man, good. Uh, one more. So, what about those videos or any people that say English learners they should sound like natives? What do you think about that? Is that a BS or success?
I think that's BS in general as
Hmm.
well. I believe that if you are learning, especially English, man,
Hmm.
there's no such a thing as an official accent. there's no such a thing as speaking English as a native speaker, because
Hmm.
first question is native speaker from what country, right?
Yeah.
Is it from Australia, from South Africa, from India? India is a bilingual country,
Oh
you
yeah.
know. From Canada, from North America. Where is this native speaker from? You know. So
Hmm.
this is the wrong question to start with. And then, like when you have those videos, what you're doing is without you, without maybe it's not your intention, but you're adding fear to the process of learning. You know, because
Hmm.
the person will already start their journey saying, "Oh my gosh, I cannot say, I don't know, uh, let me see here. So I have to say water. I cannot say water. People will not
Mm.
understand if I say water, you know? Um, and then it already adds a bit of fear, and I don't think fear is good, especially when
Yeah.
learning, you know? Yeah, this is a little bit, I think I have more to say, but I kind of lost my train of thought. But
it, it's kind of tricky, right? Like even the example you mentioned, like I've seen people here like native because I live like in a small city, let's say. So people have a different accent. Like if I go to Toronto, they have another accent. So here they have a different accent. If I go, for example, I've met people from Quebec, as you said,
mm,
also Newfoundland. They have different accents here, even
mhm.
here in Canada. And I've seen some people. I've heard people saying water, for example, instead
Well,
of water. And
no.
I mean, everyone understands that.
Mm,
Even when someone say water or whatever, like you're able to understand, right? So
yeah.
it's tricky to sound like a native. It's like native
Yeah.
from where I know I'm a native from Itaquera, so this is my
Exactly.
accent. So this is where I'm from. So
Yeah.
here we go.
I am a native speaker from Rio de Janeiro.
Here
That's
we
correct.
go, man. All
And then
right. So, yeah, go ahead.
yeah, no, no, no. I was just gonna say that you also need to be, you also need to understand that, especially in these countries here where we are currently living right now, people are
Hmm.
used to immigrants.
Yeah.
They even like they ask you, where is your accent from? They know that you're not from
Hmm.
here. Some of them, although we have that idea that Americans are very closed minded and everything,
Yeah.
here these things are starting to change.
Yeah.
Especially here in the Northeast where I live. There's not
Hmm.
much. People are well educated and they understand, like, oh, this person is not from here, so at least this person speaks two languages. And I
You
just
know?
one. So
Yeah, and they take into consideration like it's a great effort to learn a language. And
yeah,
like
true.
I mean, they appreciate that. Like
Yes.
I feel like this sometimes. Like some people say, "Oh, like where are you from?" As you said, like they ask about the accent, so it's all good. You don't need to sound like a native. Like if you want to, go for it. But anyways,
Yeah, that's another thing that I would like to say too, is that maybe you're listening to us and you're going, that's BS. I want to sound like an American. Go for it. There
yeah.
are like accent reduction courses and
Oh
stuff like that.
yeah.
You
Oh
can take
yeah.
them. Yeah, I think you
Fine
should. You
tuning and
should do
all
it.
that stuff.
Yeah, and it's well, yeah, go for it. Good,
Yeah.
you're free.
Exactly right. So my last BS versus success, very easy question, man. So following Inglês do Marcelo on Instagram, is that a BS or a success?
That's success for
There we
sure.
go.
You'll follow that page and you'll see no videos, but that's success. Don't worry, I'll post.
It's all good, man. You're coming back, and we're all happy about it.
I archived all my videos, man. I don't
Oh,
know why.
you did that?
I archived them, but I think I'll unarchive them. I'll return them to the feed.
Yeah, I mean, I did that also, but I'm in the process of like
Yeah,
undoing that, but it's all good.
it's so many videos. Like you posted one from 2017. You started even before I did. I started in 2018.
So, but when exactly? You remember the month or anything?
I mean, I can, if you have a little
You
bit of
can check
time,
it out. Yeah, no problem.
I can
Because
check.
I remember, man, you were one of the first teachers that I connected with on Instagram.
Really?
Oh yeah, man.
Wow.
You, Bruno,
Oh, Bruno's
uh,
amazing, man.
yeah, Ivan. Yeah, I
Great.
remember looking like your stuff, like, and I was like, man, those guys, they
So on
they know
YouTube,
what they're doing. Sorry.
On YouTube, I started in 2017,
Yeah.
or even before that, I think. But on Instagram, I'm trying to go back here, but it's
And that's
probably
the
2018.
thing. I'm pretty sure I saw you first on YouTube.
Ah,
And I think
yeah,
I mentioned that in our conversation, like you were like doing a vlog type of thing in
yeah.
a fair, like a YouTube fair or something. Like you were visiting a
No, that was already. Well, I had a YouTube channel back in the day
yeah.
about that, but I also posted on Instagram. That was 2018 for sure.
Okay, good.
So okay, okay, my first um post was January 6th, 2018 on Instagram. It's just the
Oh,
logo.
oh my goodness,
And then
that's precious,
I
man.
used to post these videos
Yeah, I
squared, you know?
yeah, like I did, man. You just saw it,
Yeah.
like.
Because there were no reels back then or
No, there
IGTV,
were no
whatever.
reels, man. No resources. It was just like I don't
Yeah.
know. It was
Yeah.
hard.
Crazy.
Even hashtags. I think they were just starting using hashtags back then.
Yeah, and even like nowadays you have those caption apps, which my gosh helps so much.
Oh
But we
yeah.
didn't have those things back in the day.
Mm-mm.
So like if I wanted to
No.
caption my video, I would have to really type
Yeah,
everything.
type everything. It was a real struggle, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
crazy.
not easy.
And now 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 6 years later, we're still here.
We're
Kind
still
of.
here, man. We're here. Let's keep rolling. Let's
Yeah,
go.
that's cool.
All right. So you mentioned you were a teacher in the US, right?
Yeah.
So I want to learn more about this story. So how did your because man, as I said, when you watch your videos, like you can see you do it like you're very passionate about it. You do it like with a real intention, and there is passion in there. And how did this passion start? Like how your passion for teaching started?
So I believe it started very early on, although I cannot say exactly when, because my aunt, two of my aunts are teachers.
Wow.
So I have Aunt Inea and Aunt Christina. Christina was an English teacher. So ever since I was little, I looked up to her and went like, man, this woman knows how to speak another language. That's crazy. So every movie that I watched, I would go to her and say, hey, this character said this. What is this word? And then she would explain to me and everything. So you see, kind of a family of teachers. You know, my
Okay.
mother studied pedagogy. I think that I don't even
Yeah,
know.
yeah. I think so, yeah. Pedagogy, yeah.
Yeah, so she studied that. My father would teach at church sometimes. So I've always been around people who are teaching stuff to others, you know? But when I really decided to be a teacher, I decided not to be an English teacher at first, right? I didn't want to be an English teacher. I wanted to be a history teacher.
Wow.
And it was because of this guy, this teacher named Nivardo. So I don't know where he is. I never saw him again. I don't. Obviously, he doesn't remember me, but he had the most amazing history classes. They were incredible.
Nice.
And then I was like, okay, that's what I want to do. And I remember him telling us, like everybody in the school, don't be a teacher. Go do something else.
It's always like that, right?
Yeah,
Those teachers they say,
horrible.
"Hey guys, you study hard.
Go
Don't
study.
be a
Yeah,
teacher. It is difficult." It's like,
go be
yeah,
a lawyer. Do something
yeah.
with your
Go
life.
make money.
Yeah, but then I didn't listen to him, obviously. And then
Hmm.
I started studying history at the Federal University of Tocantins because I used to
Nice.
live in Palmas back in the day, and I started studying history there. Um, and already knew I wanted to be a teacher. In the meantime, I was playing video games like crazy
Hmm.
and listening to music like crazy. And I didn't know I was fluent, but I was kind of. So what happened was I worked at a hotel. And then I put on my resume that I spoke English, but I actually never had a conversation with anybody else. I just knew in my head that I could, like, if the moment came, I was gonna be able to to
But
have a conversation, you know?
at that time, have you taken any English course or just from the games and
So I took an English course when I was a little kid
okay.
back in Campo Grande, Rio de Janeiro, but I didn't go to the course at all. I always skipped the classes to go play Counter-Strike. And one
What
day,
a good example, man.
no, and one day my mom found out, man. Dude, I won't even tell you what happened, but it was horrible.
I can't imagine, bro.
Yes, because she went. Somebody called her and said, "Hey, is your son? What happened to your son? He never showed up." And she's like, "What? My son goes there every Mondays and Wednesdays. What is going on?" And then she found out that I was playing Counter Strike.
Oh
But
my goodness.
so I went, but I didn't. You see, like I
Okay.
went. But what happened after that was that in the meantime, I was working at this hotel. I got the job. And then at the hotel, I was able to have some conversations in English with people who would come from different parts of the world. So
Nice.
that already kind of helped. And then later on, I went and got a job at a library. And after I got the job at the library, I was already like with the hopes of getting married and
Mm-hmm.
doing, just living with my life. My parents had already gone back to Rio de Janeiro. I was in Palmas by myself, just
Mm-hmm.
living. I was like 18, 19.
Okay.
And then I finally got fired from this job, from the library. There was a
Wow.
major layoff. I was one of them.
Hmm.
And I got 3,000 reais together with like FGTS and everything. Just
Yeah.
3,000 reais. And then I bought a 700 reais Ray-Ban for my wife. That is not my wife.
Okay.
It was my girlfriend because I wanted to do something special for her. And
Right.
with the rest of the money, I had heard about this course called this English school. Can I say the name of the English school? Yeah, right.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
So I heard about this English school called Uptime. Have you heard of this English school before?
I think so. It sounds familiar. Yeah.
Uptime. It's a English school from Belo Horizonte, but they had opened a place in Palmas.
Okay.
And the person who told me about it said these words: Once you get there, once you get in those doors, it's like you are in the United States because they don't
Holy.
let you speak Portuguese. It's
Wow.
English only. And I'm like, what the heck? That's insane.
That sounds promising.
Yeah. And then I said, you know what? I'll go there. I'll use this money. I will pay for the full course. And when look at my idea. When I finish the course, I'll start teaching English. I'll try
Wow.
to teach English there because I needed a job, you know? So I said,
Mm-hmm.
you know what? I'm going to invest this money in this course and I'm going to, later on get this money back, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as I start, like when I entered the door, the academic coordinator was there at the reception because the receptionist had missed like that day. She wasn't there, and we started speaking in English.
Wow.
And then he was like, and then I said, "No, I'm here to study. I want to study." He's like, "You don't need to study. What do you want to study? Like, don't you want to teach?" And I'm like, "Teach? No, me? How?
What?
Like?" And he said, "Why can't you teach?" I said, "No, but I don't know. I don't know the grammar. How can I teach? I know how to talk, but I don't know the grammar." And he said, "Do you know why do we say she is more beautiful than her and not more beautifuler, for example?" And I said, "No, I don't know why, but I know it's more beautiful than." And
Okay.
he said, "You know what? I'll teach you the grammar in 1 week."
Wow,
Teach
man.
you the whole grammar in 1 week, and then you can start monitoring students. You know what? I think we can get a job for you at the reception. So in that very same day, I left that place with a full scholarship, going, with a future promised job in teaching and working as the receptionist. Because
Wow.
for them, it was good to have a receptionist that could speak English.
Yeah,
Perfect for the students and for the
because
brand.
it's part of the idea, right? Like they would come and meet someone who could speak English with them.
Yeah. And then I started working at the reception, and then I started like monitoring some classes and everything. And then later on, I started teaching. Later on, I became the academic coordinator of that very same unit because this academic coordinator, his name was Godfred. He left to Cuiabá,
Mm-hmm.
where he eventually passed away.
Oh.
So it's a sad story, but I was just
Mm-hmm.
happy that it's so funny because I used to talk to him about God, about Jesus all the time, and
Mhm.
then this guy was just like an old guy, from the Netherlands.
Okay.
And he left to Cuiabá and got converted there. God
Wow.
converted his heart there, and then like two years later, he passed away. But it makes me hopeful that I'll see
Oh
him again.
yeah. And
But
and and I'm pretty sure you planted a seed, right?
yeah, that's what I like to think as well. But
Yeah.
not only me, obviously, many other people. But
Yeah.
so I became the academic coordinator there, and then there was a whole situation at the school that I'm not gonna get into because it involves like other
Yeah.
people and personal
It's
matters.
okay.
But I ended up leaving the school, and then
Mhm.
I went to another school that only spoke English as well. So in these years, I had already 2 years of experience
Mhm.
in teaching English only, right? Because we didn't speak Portuguese in there. And I went to Minds. Have you heard about the school, Minds?
Yeah, this one I know. Yeah.
So Minds is always the same idea, same methodology, same Stephen Krashen
Yeah.
ideology and everything. No Portuguese, just English. I started studying there, working there, and ended up being the coordinator assistant. And it was there that I really learned how to teach the grammar, because they had
Okay.
like a perfect methodology. And in there, like, bro, they would give you the lesson plan.
Mhm.
If you missed a comma, the academic coordinator would be like, "You're not teaching the correct lesson. You have to teach everything, like word by word."
Wow.
So I memorized a million different ways to explain the comparatives, for example.
Mhm.
And it was so good for me over there too. Like I learned a lot with the academic coordinator there. His name is Fabio. Man, I learned so much with him. He's an amazing guy. Worked with some great people there too. Thiago, who I still keep in contact with, worked with me at a time as well. Also an
Good.
English teacher, an amazing English teacher. So it was great. And then after that, then what was your question again? I don't even remember.
Like the passion for English, when did it started,
Okay,
man? But
it
I
started
I
there.
I'm
It
flattered
started there.
listening to the story. Keep going. It's so good.
Sorry, man. I'm studying to be a pastor. Pastor
I
taught
know, but man, it's been amazing. It's been amazing.
no, but so that's where it started back then. But then these things kept happening, and then I
Yeah.
was already a teacher. Like I was a teacher without really the degree. But
Mhm.
I can teach English. I
Yeah.
can teach with anybody. And later on I went on and got a degree and everything, so I could just have the diploma, to show
Yeah.
people, here I did it.
Yeah.
But and this is how I ended up here in the United States as well. The same idea, like I need to have an international experience. So my career is I have a little bit more to tell my students.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of experience to share. That's for sure. Good. All right. So I remember, man, like I don't know exactly when, but I remember at some point you launched a course, right? Like you created a course, an online course, and I tried to do the same, but I failed. But I believe you succeed, like you did good, right? So can you tell a little bit about the experience? How was it like creating a course from scratch,
Yeah.
like putting your ideas out there and selling? And also we mentioned the marketing part, right? So how was the experience overall? How was like creating a course from scratch?
Yeah, dude, it was crazy because first I just wanted to do something, like I wanted to test myself.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can do this.
Hmm.
And then I always had this in the back of my mind because back in the day it was, I think today is even more like that, but back in the day it was like, man, you need to sell something. You need to sell
Yeah.
something on the internet. And like I sold those things in reais. I lived in the United States. Like I wasn't making money out of
Hmm.
it. I just wanted to see if I could sell myself. Like, can I
Okay.
sell my ideas? Like, can people buy from me? That's a crazy thought for back in the day. A crazy thought for me.
Yeah.
But I tried, and I think that the most difficult part, which nowadays is the easiest because of ChatGPT, but for me back in the day, the most difficult part was to create the outline of the course. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what am I going to teach these people?
Yeah.
Because it's not just put the course there and then screw the students. You got to put the
Exactly.
course there and make sure people are learning.
Yeah.
So I developed the outline. It took a long time of thinking and like, okay, it's gonna be divided in modules and blocks, and it's gonna be divided in weeks. I ended up dividing the course in weeks. Week
Mm-hmm.
1, I called baby steps. Week 2, freshman. Week 4, and it was a basic course because I didn't want to create a complete course. Otherwise, it was gonna take a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So I created a basic English course of 20, of like 40 something lessons, or 60
Mm-hmm.
classes. And the recording part was the easiest part because I know how to teach English.
Yeah.
English is English. It's so easy. I can teach. You give me a board and a marker, I'll teach whoever,
Mm-hmm.
because this is what we do as teachers. So
Yeah.
recording was the easiest part. The most difficult was the thinking, the thinking of the outline.
The
Once I
planning and everything.
once I had the outline, bro, I recorded in like 1 week,
Wow.
60
Everything.
lessons. I edited real quick, and then I put on the platform and started advertising, right? And then I didn't take any course like any Erico Rocha course and stuff like that. I just did like a crazy person. I thought, okay, what is Mário Vergara doing? Oh, he does this, and then he says that he's going to make a live stream and it's going to be a free event, and then he sells. Okay, I'm going to do that too. I copied everything from everybody, because I just didn't know better.
But in my opinion, you were just smart enough to figure things out by yourself because this is exactly what they teach in those courses.
Right, right. But I'm sure there are, those trigger words and those
Oh
things that
yeah.
you have
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
use to sell more. And I
Mhm.
made a promise with myself that it's like, man, I'm not gonna deceive anybody. So if
Yeah.
you go to the FAQ, the FAQ of my course is like, is this course going to teach me English so I can become fluent? The answer, no.
No.
This is a basic English course. This is an introductory course.
Good.
And like, um, if I study just 5 minutes a day, will I be able to learn it? No, you gotta dedicate more time. It's dedication, it's consistency. It was very real.
Honest.
And of course, obviously, it didn't sell much. But
Yeah.
I was able to to make, well, again, in dollars, it's not so much, but in reais, it's a considerable amount. I
That's
sold
that's great.
25,000 reais, which,
Man, that's
man, if I
amazing.
had 25,000 reais when I was living in Palmas, living as a teacher, I was considering myself a rich person.
Exactly, man.
Uh,
Exactly.
but again, I used that money, and that money that I got, I used to pay for my immigration process and my green card process and stuff like that. So it was a very helpful extra cash that I that I made during those times. But then again, the difficult part also is following the students' steps,
Mhm.
um, and really developing a good way to follow them and to make them feel
Mhm.
that they are being like taught by somebody. The support part. I think that
Yeah,
was the most difficult part for me. But
it
the
is.
recording, it was easy. So that's not the difficult part.
But I feel like, man, there are so many. I don't want to talk bad about anyone, but there are so many things that you see and you don't agree. And as you said, like it's clearly people trying to take advantage of others, like deceiving others.
Yeah.
And I think I don't know about your future, right? Like, and even about my future, I've been thinking about like maybe doing something like that, like some type of content that can help people like basic learners, like people that are just
Yeah.
starting, they can benefit from. So I think we should just go for it, like just try to keep helping people. And as you said, right, if as long as we're being honest, and you were a great teacher, right, so I'm pretty sure those people who bought that course back then, they learned a lot from you, right? So
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe in the future.
Yes, and I charged. It wasn't cheap. It was $400, 400 reais, 400
Wow.
reais. So
Well,
the people that
that's not cheap, but it's not expensive at all.
I know, but by 2019, like $300 or 400 reais for a basic course, I felt like I had a lot of responsibility over
Yeah.
those people's money. So I was like, man, let me do my best here. And then I promised a 1 year
Access
access.
and
Uh,
support or
Access and support. So after
okay.
1 year, I told all the students, I'm like, guys, I'm done. And then I opened the access for everybody. Like, you guys have full access forever, but I'm not gonna support
Follow
anybody
up. Yeah.
anymore. Everybody understood, and it
Mm-hmm.
was it was fine. But it's complicated because when you sell stuff like that, if you don't have a team,
Mm-hmm.
it's hard, man. Because some people will buy the course, and then after like 7 months, they'll say, "Hey, I'll start today." But like, what? You should have started 7 months ago, but okay. But I think you should go for it, man.
Yeah.
I think there is a place for everybody, and our main goal is to help people. So
Yeah.
just put it out there. I'm sure people are gonna benefit from you as well.
Sounds good. All right. So I was away from Instagram for let's say 2 years or so,
Hmm.
and you've been away for some time now,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm. Yeah.
And what are you up to, man? What's happening behind the scenes? Can you tell us, like,
Yeah. Of
yeah.
course. So well, so basically, I had to stop making videos because seminary was too much for
Mm-hmm.
me. So
Yeah.
all these books here, they are theology books.
Nice.
And without the books that I have here on a software that I pay, right? So it's a lot of reading, it's a lot of commitment. I finished a master's degree in 2022, and I'm going for another one right now. And it's just a lot of work. And I couldn't find the time to have a full-time job, study, have a family, and
Mm-hmm.
do the things I had to do at church. I had
Yeah.
to prioritize something and
Mm-hmm.
deprioritize others. And then
Yeah.
the Instagram was the least of my priorities
Mm-hmm.
back in the day. I think I still have the same crazy schedule,
Yeah.
but what has improved, in my opinion, was technology.
Yeah.
Technology has improved so much. So now I don't need to brainstorm for videos anymore. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Yeah.
I have AI to brainstorm it for me. I don't need to
Exactly.
type the captions anymore. I have CapCut that can put the captions for me over there. You know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
think nowadays it's easier to put out
Yeah.
content. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's why I'm like getting excited to come back again. Not thinking about money, whatever, because this is this
Mm-hmm.
is. I don't think there is a lot of money in that area especially for people who are trying to just
Mm-hmm.
teach like serious stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
It's more entertainment nowadays, I think. I
more
feel.
entertainment, yeah. And then if you go to that route, I think it's valid too. It's great,
Mm-hmm.
but I just don't think I can do it. I can't do it. I
Yeah.
tried
I
to do
feel the
some.
same, man.
I tried to do some videos with like dialogues and stuff, and the people that I showed the video, they liked. They were like, "Oh, this is so funny! You gotta, keep doing that." But then it's also a lot of work. I don't.
Yeah.
I gotta do stuff that it doesn't take me a long time to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what.
Yeah, man, I'm pretty sure you can figure that out, man. Like, you are very creative. Like, and
Yeah.
I mean, like, you can figure that out for sure. So
Yeah.
you
So
mentioned, yeah, go ahead.
no, no, I was just saying. Okay, that's why I stopped with Instagram, right? So there's seminary. There's also a full-time job that I have. So I have been studying a lot. I work at a company called Approach
Mm-hmm.
International. It's an English school here in Boston, Massachusetts. We have two campuses, one in Austin, one in Marlborough, and I'm there like full time every day, teaching English, advising students. Running the social media account of that English school and everything. So that is also another thing. Like, man, I already deal with social media 100% of the time
Hmm.
at my job, so going home and having to record
Yeah,
videos again,
I
it
know.
takes a while for you to get used to it. So this is what I've been doing, working a lot, studying a lot, serving the church, and obviously, with my family, my two kids. I have two kids now. When I started, I was just me and Gabi.
Yeah, man. And how is it going? Like being a father, man. I also have two kids, but how is the experience
Well,
being so far?
you know what it is like.
Yeah,
It's
bro.
crazy, it's busy, but it's the best thing,
Yeah,
it's incredibly busy. Your life changes, but I cannot think of my life without them again, like,
exactly.
it's so incredible to see them grow, and every little word that comes out of their mouths. And now they were born here, so sometimes they speak English, sometimes they speak Portuguese. We force them to speak Portuguese, but sometimes they want to
Yeah,
say stuff in English. And it's funny because you teach them a word in English and they get it with the perfect accent. It's so funny.
yeah. And
Because
like 5 minute later, they are correcting you, right? Like my
it's
daughter
incredible.
loves to correct me, man. Like my
Yeah,
accent, my pronunciation. Yeah, she's so picky, man. But it's good.
it's insane.
It's good.
But it's an amazing experience. I really enjoy it.
All right. And you mentioned like you've been studying theology, and I remember uh like it's a vague memory, but at some point you also created something like like a Instagram page where you connected religion
Yeah,
and English. So how was the idea? Like, is that something that you still want to keep doing? And can you tell more about this connection and also how it plays a role in your life, like the religion and everything?
right. So yeah, there was a time where I created a page called Verbo to Biblia.
Nice.
Instead of being Verbo to be, it's Verbo to Biblia.
Oh,
Which
good.
I aimed to teach English using verses of the Bible. So if I wanted to teach the verb to be, I would get a verse and point out the verb to be there, and stuff like that. But again, those things demand so much work. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But then again, nowadays, I think it would be easier for me to do. But it just demanded so much time, and then I ended up not going through with it. I also had a page called English with Marcelo, where I tried to teach English, speaking only in English. So I had a page,
Oh, okay.
English with Marcelo, English in Portuguese, and then
Okay.
English with Marcelo, English. Also didn't go for it. I tried everything. I did so many. I feel like it's what I'm saying. Maybe it's because I moved so much. It's easy for me to
Yeah.
just try something new and go for it. And
Yeah.
it's also easy for me to quit. Just I don't want to do it anymore. Screw that. But then about the religion part, well, I've been a Christian for a long time, and always felt that I needed to do more. That God was calling me to something more, and stuff like that. So I decided to just let God lead my life the way He wanted to, and
Mhm.
that ended up in seminary here in the United States. So when I was leaving Brazil, I had this idea in mind. Like, I'll go to seminary, I'll become a pastor. But then, because of the move to the United States, which I thought it would be just for a year, I kind of put that as a
Mhm.
like a plan B. But then things were happening here in the United States. God opened the doors here as well. And then I started seminary here, which was something that I thought it wouldn't be possible. As I also thought it wouldn't be possible to teach English in the United States. I
Mm.
never thought that was possible at all, ever, but it happened. So decided to go to seminary, and now I think, like, the church part of my life, right? The religious part. I think it's the other than my family, it's the most important part for me.
Nice.
I have these priorities. It's God first, and then when you say God first, I don't mean church first. I mean
Mhm.
whatever God wants me to do
Mhm.
for that day. If it's
Mhm.
taking care of my family first, then I'm serving God as well. If it's serving the church, serving God as well. So I've been doing that for the past, I don't know, almost 4 years. Like, been really involved with the teaching in the church and everything like that. So it's been amazing, a good experience, and just planning on continue doing that as well if God allows.
That's great, man. It's really powerful. Like your relationship, like I see, as you said, like it's not about the church itself. Of course, it's really important, but it's your relationship to God, right? Like
Yeah.
it's great, very
Yeah.
powerful.
Mhm.
Good. Man, it's been almost 1 hour of conversation, and I don't want to like bother you that much. But do you have any final messages? Like you want to tell people anything in special? Any future plans? So go for it. Feel free to share.
Yeah, no, I would just tell everybody who's watching this to keep studying English. I think it's the first step for your success. Especially if you're here in as an immigrant. I think English is the first step. So get that done. Learn that language, and
Yeah.
then I'm pretty sure many doors will open in your life. If you guys want to follow Inglês do Marcelo, that's amazing. Follow
There you
it
go.
over there. It's planning on returning with the videos and uh, teaching people. I would also like to tell people that to turn themselves to the idea that there is something more to this life. I feel like
Hmm.
this day and age, people are so caught up in so many different situations, and then our minds are so bombarded with so much information. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if you let yourself go that route, I think depression is right around the corner. you know
Hmm.
these terrible things are right around the corner because we were not made to have this much information and this
Yeah.
much comparison, especially on social media.
Hmm.
We're comparing ourselves with others and thinking that their lives are better than ours, and
Hmm.
sometimes it's not like that. So, life doesn't stop here. I think there's more to life, and I would also, tell people to read the Bible. I think it's an important book, even if you don't believe in it. I believe it's a book that has been here for 2,000 years. There's something there
Hmm.
that
For
is
sure.
worth seeing, and I believe that the important thing there in the whole book is the Jesus part. So,
Okay.
you know, go there, go for the New Testament, read Jesus's words. I'm pretty sure that's going to help you as well, even achieving your goals. Because you're gonna see Jesus's way of doing things. You're gonna see that he was consistent,
Nice.
which is something that you need to be.
Exactly. We all need, right?
Exactly, as an English learner. So yeah, that's it. Learn English, find God, and do your best, and things will happen.
Bro, I can't find a better way to wrap things up. So again, thank you very much for being here, like taking your time. I really appreciate it. So I've mentioned it before, but you're always a person that I looked up to. Like I always admire your way to explain things, like your energy. And again, man, thank you very much. And it's official, guys. He's back. Inglês do
Yeah,
Marcelo. I just broke the news, so
yeah.
you're good.
It's
All
great to
right.
have you guys back. I always say that. So,
Here we go. Okay, guys. So that was episode number 21 with Marcelo from Inglês do Marcelo. And I see you guys on the next episode. Have a good one. Bye.
bye, everyone.